YouTube friends, welcome to another video. Today's video is inspired and directly driven by a comment from Ewan Livingston, who kindly requested my thoughts, ponderings and general musings on winter kit, especially in Britain as we're going through a bit of a cold snap. Although I feel a little bit guilty calling it a cold snap because one of the guys I coach lives in Calgary and he's had 3 days of -40. However, we deal with what we deal with. I'm currently out of action, having ridden yesterday and had a crash on some black ice, so that has rendered me out of action for a few days. Very lucky to still be in one piece, but have made a mess of my knee and both elbows, but luckily it hasn't damaged my model looks. Anyway, we're here to discuss that mountain of kit, winter kit. Now, Ewan had said that he might be interested to hear my opinion because I'm not sponsored and therefore I can give an honest and unbiased viewpoint, which I will endeavour to do. However, I was sponsored previously by a company called Zappy, who make cycling kit and have a pro under 23 cycling team. But the garments from Zappy that I've got here to show you are relatively generic, so I will point those out, but yeah, take that with a pinch of salt, but I'm no longer sponsored due to my lack of talent of late. Okay, let's start from the bottom up, as it were, and we will start with Overshoes. Madison, these are from. I really like them. They're about 20 quid, they're pretty cheap. They're not a full neoprene like I've had in the past. They're actually a lot thinner than that, but I find they keep my feet as warm as the neoprene ones that I've had before. They've got a fleecy lining, and the thing I like about them is they're so thin. And I've got Garmin Vector power pedals, which means they've got pods, and sometimes anything thick on your shoes, if you wear thick neoprene ones for example, rub against the pods and basically it just cracks you. So Madison, really good value. They're online, find them, good stuff. Number one. Okay, so keep moving up from the feet to the legs. I prefer in the winter to wear a full bib tight. So bib tights, as in they've got the straps at the top, keep you all in place. These ones are made by Zappy, but they're a relatively straightforward bib tight. They've got a fleece lining. These ones, I like them because they've got a really good pad and they've lasted me well over a few years. What they're not though is full windproof, waterproof. I have tried those in the past, but I've found them quite uncomfortable to ride in, not as flexible. I prefer more of a sort of lycra based fabric. Only thing I do to add to these in the winter is I quite like on the coldest of days to wear a pair of bib shorts underneath. Just keeps the quads a bit warmer, a bit more compression, but that's very much a personal thing. So straightforward bib tights. The only thing I would give you to think about in terms of perhaps if you're on a budget is the idea of buying some good quality bib shorts so you can wear them in the summer and the winter, and pairing them with some really good leg warmers. And this is something that Katie does, and she has got the Castelli Nano Flex, and these are very good because they are waterproof. They've got a real thick fleecy lining, so it just means that you could wear good quality shorts all year round and save you perhaps buying bib tights that you're only going to wear for a few months of the year. So that's another idea to think about, Castelli Nano Flex leg warmers. Right, legs done, so on to the core body, and this is one of my key pieces of guidance for you. Quality of your base layer is absolutely golden. It's probably one of those things where you think, oh, I can just wear any old base layer, a t-shirt, a running t-shirt, something like that, but if you don't wick the sweat away, and if you're damp basically, that can get cold, and that's when you stay cold throughout a ride. Now this here is a Rapha synthetic. I mean, it looks a bit, you can see me through it, that's how thin it is, but it's a synthetic base layer. It's not merino. I've had merino in the past, but the merino ones I find they can get a bit stinky and a bit musty, whereas these synthetic fabrics, basically they're really clever, and that's why they're synthetic. They're smaller, they're lighter, and I'm just wearing this and a layer over the top of it. So this is the Rapha, I don't know what it's called, but it's a synthetic base layer. It's like a fake merino. I got it in the sale, I think it was like 25 quid, but whatever it costs, this is worth it. It's had a good few washes, it's still doing fine, it's not fraying, it's not falling apart, but most importantly, this really works, so really recommend this. On top of the Rapha base layer, I am wearing my second top tip for winter gear, and this is the Castelli Profetto. This is a waterproof, well it's not waterproof, it's showerproof, but it's certainly windproof garment. I don't know why I keep saying garment, it's the kind of thing my nan would say. but it keeps you super warm, and I'm only wearing that thin Rafa base layer plus this Castelli layer. So this is the Castelli Perfetto Convertible, which has the added benefit of zip-off sleeves. Now, zip-off sleeves sounds horrific, I know. However, a little golden nugget of truth is when you take the sleeves off the Perfetto, you are left with a Gabba, which is the brilliant same jersey but short sleeve basically. So you don't zip off the sleeves and you're not left with one of these sort of classic triathlete vests. You've actually got a sleeve underneath there, so that is gold, because that means you can use this in the sort of spring, early summer as well. But yeah, fantastically warm. It's got a sort of slightly neoprene feel to it, which is obviously great for wind and water. Super comfortable and way more lightweight than the other types of jacket that I'll show you. So this is the Castelli Perfetto long sleeve convertible. See it there. And the Perfetto is their sort of pro range, so it's quite expensive this. You'll have to shop around. I think I got it for 175 quid from Wiggle, I think it was. But really, really recommend this. Wind, water, definitely. And like I say, all I'm wearing under this is that super thin Rafa layer, and I'm plenty warm enough in this sort of 0 degree temperatures. Gold. The other jackets that I've used previously to give you some sort of variations, I suppose, because that is a relatively expensive piece. This is the one that I used to have with Zappi. So it's just a classic heavyweight winter jacket. Again, showerproof, but it's just that sort of thick, fleecy stuff instead of the more neoprene-y type material. Great jacket, nothing wrong with it at all. I guess you just get what you pay for, and the Castelli is as warm, if not more warm, for a lighter weight material. And for me, I like the lighter weight. I don't like to be wearing so much, but this really good. And the other alternative, this is slightly more horrific in the fashion stakes, were that possible. This is a Giordana, again, pretty cheap, fleece lined, reflective. It's good stuff. But to me, any of these garments are fine as long as you've got a good quality base layer. Do not skimp on the base layer. Tip du jour. Okay, on top of that, even with the Castelli, I always carry around a showerproof. This is a Zappi one, but you know, it's just a showerproof. Fantastic, it works, it keeps the water off you. The one thing I'd say about these, once you put these on, you might not get wet from the outside, but you are going to be wet from the inside, because these things, it's like being in a tent for 6 months. There's that much sweat going on inside the body. They're not breathable. Even the ones I've had that say they're breathable, I'm not having it. They might have vents, and they might be more dry inside than one like this, which keeps you dry on the outside, inside, outside. You get what I mean. Once you put this puppy on, there's going to be a lot of sweat going on. But for the worst storms, I keep it in the pocket, just in case you need it. Or if you're having a bad day and you really, really get cold, if you put this on, you will heat up. No worries. It's like a boil in a bag chicken. Peachy. Hands. So I am a big fan of Madison neoprene gloves. I think these are fantastic. Again, 20 quid I think these are. They're not for everyone, because essentially what happens, you put them on and the full neoprene in them makes your hands sweat. And so your hands are wet, but the water that's inside these neoprene gloves, like a wetsuit, heats up, and that keeps your hands warm for the rest of the ride. What some people don't like is that wet feeling. You know, you take your hands out and they look like, I mean, I don't want to say it, but like some old dear who sat in the bath for a couple of hours. But I appreciate they're not for everyone, because not everyone likes that feeling. But again, they're lightweight, they're super thin. You can see that neoprene, super thin, but they genuinely work and keep your hands warm. My alternative to these, which I sometimes take out as well, are those if I know I'm going to have to stop and change gloves, because you don't want to put those on again. Sealskins. If you don't know sealskins, they are superb. Properly waterproof, properly windproof, full fleece lining, leather palm. They are great, great gloves. I prefer the neoprene just because there's less volume to them. They're a lighter weight, they're thin, they're just on your hand, whereas these are, you know, a bit like a motorbiker's glove. Just as warm, but it's just that difference in terms of size of them and the type of material. But these, fantastic. Sealskins, I don't know what they're called. I think they're about 40 quid. Sweet like choco. What else? Oh yeah. After gloves, it's another Madison piece. 20 quid again, I think. I don't know if everything from Madison costs 20 quid. I don't know. But this is a cap. It's got a little peaky visor, but you can see from the angle of it there, it also warms your ears, covers your, even my ears. I mean, look at them. Full on wing nut action. but this covers them, keeps them warm. I like to combine this, as I've said before in a previous video, with an aero helmet, less vents, this and that, keeps your head warm, no issues at all. Thank you, Ewan, for the question. I hope I've given you a few thoughts there. I think the key takeaways there are good quality overshoes, gloves that work for you. The quality of your base layer is probably the most integral at this time of year. For me, the Castelli Perfetto is molto bene. I don't know what that means, but it's good. And if you're going to spend money, I think that's where to spend the money. The quality of the base layer and the quality of that jacket. They're expensive, but they're probably going to last you a long, long time. So I would say it's worth spending a few quid on that. All the other bits and pieces, bib tights, shorts, leg warmers, they're much of a muchness. Obviously you get what you pay for. I wouldn't get too hung up on the brands. Go with something that's comfortable. The pads on the bib tights and shorts are important. But let me know what you think. Any items that you'd like to throw in the comments below that you'd like me to have a look at, or you'd like to recommend to anyone else who watches this video, that would be much appreciated. Any other suggestions for videos, happy to do that. I've got a bike review one that was requested yesterday as well, so I will do that on my titanium curve. I've got some other bikes as well which might be worth reviewing. I've got the Felt IA time trial bike, the Ridley Noah SL as a road crit bike. They're quite interesting, and the difference between the three is always worth talking about. But anyway, for now, I hope that's been useful. I haven't put links to all of those items in the comments below, but thanks for watching.